So I spent the weekend building stuff, first on paper, and then I was like, this sucks. So I found this tool that we can use, and I want to practice some basic constructions together. And I want to give you some challenges, and I also want to talk about the homework. I think it's due on Friday, but we could do it on Monday. We could take it to Monday. That homework is hard. Anybody started on it? Yeah. That shit is that like, yeah. It's like, did you find it?
Yes.
Yay. Yay.
Good Samaritans.
Okay. So where is my construction set? Let me get the phone on. So I had a couple of questions. Actually, Morgan's not here today, but she did email me a couple of questions. So I'll just start off answering those. These are hints on the homework. And I really only have one major hint for you, I guess. So this is homework, whatever number, homework current, number 6, wow. We'll probably have one more homework. It'll be the final. It won't be an exam length, it'll just be a normal homework. Aren't these normal homeworks enough anyway? Do we really need like an extra long homework? I don't think so. So this is section 5.1, and 5.1.1 is prove that our hyperbolic model, hyperbolic geometry, the unit disk, open unit disk, and all of the Mobius transformations that map the disk back onto itself. And they're also given by the form on page 98, which might be helpful at some point. So please note that we do know what these things look like. Everything in here looks like this. E to the I theta, z minus z naught, 1 minus z naught conjugate z. We kind of built this the hard way on Wednesday. Oh my God, I don't know if you remember what happened on Wednesday, but what we did was we built a transformation, not using a formula, using inversions around what are essentially hyperbolic lines. So anytime we have these circles that intersect the unit circle at right angles, this is our lines that we're working with. This is now what our lines look like. And all our operations can be thought of as inversions over these clines, even more generally. So these are really, actually, if you continue, they're just circles in the complex plane. The only real lines are ones that go through the center, because then those hit orthogonally out here. So the only thing you're used to being a line are the lines right through the center, the spokes on this thing. But every one of these things can be accomplished through 2 inversions over different circles here. What we did on Wednesday was we built the circles that took an arbitrary point z naught to 0. And then its conjugate, its symmetric pair, we'll say it's like right out here, z naught star, that went to infinity. And then we found another point, z1, and that got sent to 1, which is right on the boundary. Just a rough summary of what happened. It took a long time. It was really painful and intense and may or may not have made a lot of sense. So what I'm hoping to do today is give you firsthand intuition about how to work with these things and how things act when we flip around these. Because you can use that formula for, I think, 1 or 2 of these problems. It's going to be painful algebraically, but it would work. Notice that this is the version of the thing that we built in formula form, because what is T of z naught? What is that? 0. Yeah, so this is the version, the formula version of the stuff we did last week. But the problem that I think is going to really cause you a lot of pain is going to be problem 3. Problem 3 is hard, and so we're going to understand it better today, and hopefully leave you in a place where you can make an educated guess and then convince yourself that it's true. But problem 1 says prove that this is homogeneous. So what you need to do is look up the definition. So I asked, please provide the definition of this. I think it might be on page 88, I'm not sure, but you can look it up in the index. To do this, I would say, here's how I would argue this one. One is observe, so these are observations. We can create a T, like we just did here, that sends any point to 0, any its conjugate to infinity, and then some other point to 1. This is also a group, so for any one of those I have its inverse. What does the inverse of this thing do? It sends 0 to z naught. It sends infinity to z naught star. Hello, hi. And it sends 1 to z1. You could get 2 of these together. You could also get an S that sends some point z naught, or how about w naught to 0, and a w naught star to infinity, and a w 1 to 1. So you could do this. You could create this for a point z naught and this for a point w naught, and somehow combine them together to get a map that sends z naught to w naught. Does that sound reasonable? Do you see what I'm saying here? Like this, and this is how I would argue problem 1. But you just need to look up what that means first. And then it's pretty straightforward. And let's talk on Wednesday. Please take a look at these between now and then. So today, I want to show you how to get a feeling for problem 3, because it took me a long time to convince myself my intuition was right on it. And this will also give you an idea about how to do number 4. So friends, let's get your laptops out. Open up the page that is in World Class Announcements. It is the hyperbolic geometry construction set, which is kind of my name for it. I just want to show you how to use this tool and some basic constructions that are going to help. I got a list of things that I think we should do in order. So first off, how many points do I need to determine a circle? 3 points, right? I need 3 points to determine a circle. So let's go to the plane, and let's say I had 3 points. These can be in the disk or not. Do you know how to build the circle that contains those? How do I do it? Can somebody walk us through? Tell me, where's the center? How do I find the exact center of this thing? Any ideas? Lou, you got an idea?
I want to say I'm remembering that there's a way you can do it where if you take the, like, a line that is perpendicular to it like bisects, so like you draw lines between all the points, like those two, yeah. And then you draw lines that bisect them, and their intersection is the center.
Exactly. So to construct, yeah, that's exactly the construction. And we can do this here, but it's got a tool to do it for us. But you might need this during our play session today. So watch how this goes. You take I want to find the circle between these 3 points. So I draw line segments between them. Then I find the perpendicular bisectors of each of those. And where they cross is the center of the circle. So once you have the center of the circle, you could just take a compass and draw the rest of it, right? Okay, that's pretty bad, but that's the idea. So that's the basic instruction for 3 points to construct a circle. Can you try that on this app? Let me show you where you might want to look. So first off, you can pluck 3 points. You just go to the point selector and you just pick 3 points. And then, and you should do this with me because I think it'll be helpful. I think this is actually our perpendicular bisector, so we don't even have to draw those line segments between them. I just go here, and then I select these points. Look at how see how it's creating it? There's the perpendicular bisector. And then it remembers what function you were on. So you just come here. And this is the center. Where these two lines intersect, that is the center of the circle containing these. Now, let me prove that to you. So here to make circles, there's all sorts of different ways to make them. That's better. You can just take 3 points and build a circle through them, or you can specify the center through a point. That's what I'm going to do. And you'll see that these 3 points actually land right where we want. So let's do circle, center through a point. So, oh, sorry, that is our unit disk. That's our little friend, the hyperbolic plane. So I click the center, and then I click point. Look how it just snapped right in. So that's fun. Give that a shot, just to start getting your bearings with this thing, because we're going to do harder stuff with it. But practice, warm up. You can drag that thing around or move it or whatever it is you need to do. By using, let's see. Yeah, just move graphics view. Oh, full window. There we go. That's good. And it keeps a little running tally on the left of what is going on. I'm going to undo my stuff. Actually, I'm just going to refresh here. So let me know, is this working for you? You're good. You're good, Christian? Yeah. Sounds good. You got a lot. You got some serious lines going on. How's this going for you? Yeah, good. You're good. You're doing more things, different things now. I'm good for you. Okay. How's it going? Okay. Sweet.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You're doing great. That looks good. Those look like the bisector, Grace. You good? Hey, okay. Let me see some. Got it? Okay. So let me give you a new problem. And this is a harder problem. So this is level 1. And it seems like we got that going. So now let's go to the hyperbolic plane. Every circle you want in the hyperbolic plane should intersect the edge orthogonally. So the circles we want, so here's our disk, here's our big D. So this is D, but then the boundary is S infinity 1, that's just the unit circle. Here's 0 right in the center. Here's 1 right over here. And this is infinity all around here. This 1 is kind of its old name. That's its old name. It's got a new name now. But we can also refer to it as 1, and that's what's really weird about all of this. So if I gave you 2 points in the plane, in the hyperbolic plane, so I've got a Z1 and a Z2, how could I construct, and we might want to brainstorm here, and I want you to think about this, how can I construct the circle that goes through these 2 points and also intersects the edge orthogonally? This might not be obvious. This stuff kind of all came together for me this weekend because this is kind of like all I did this weekend. What do I know about a circle? So let me kind of help with some hints here. What do I know about this circle, C, if it hits this circle, our main circle, the unit circle, orthogonally? What do I know about the inversion of C in the unit circle? It's also C. So if I take this circle that is orthogonal to the edge and I invert it around the center of this guy, it turns back into itself. So that means that for every point Z1 that is on this circle, what else is on that? What do I know is on that circle as well? The inverse, the inversion of it. So for every point that's on this circle, let's write this out. If C is orthogonal to our unit circle, then for every point Z on that curve, Z star is also on that curve. And that's its inversion. This is the inversion in the unit circle. So if I give you these 2 points, and now I've got Z1 star out here, I can build that circle because I've got 3 points. So let me show you how to do this. So pick 2 points. Just go ahead and pick any 2 points you want in the plane. And you might want to zoom out. I'm just scrolling on the wheel on the mouse. I know what you're going to have to do. And I'm going to lift this and kind of move it so it's more central. I want to construct the inversion of one of these points. So to do that, see this thing with the red and blue dots in the line? If you click on that, you can reflect around any sort of object you want. So reflect object in circle is the thing we want. If you click on that, and then you click on either point, and then the circle you want to invert around, you get the inversion. Stop. See if you can replicate that. Pick 2 points in the hyperbolic plane, find the inversion of one of them. And they denote them with primes, so you'll know you've got it. And then there, yeah, then you can use the 3-point circle to grab it. And then 3-point circle, the 3-point circle mode you can use to get the circle through those points. 1, 2, 3. Let me stop. Let's all do that. You might want to clear those lines. I don't know. What are you doing actually? I'm curious. Are you up to something? Oh, you're doing it. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I like that. It's nice.
I like doing it.
It's fun. It's satisfying.
It is.
It's sad. You do it however you want, as long as you get the damn circle. Can we all get that circle? So if I gave you 2 points in the hyperbolic plane, you could construct the line through them. This is the line through A and B. Our lines are portions of circles that are orthogonal to the boundary of this thing. Is there any troubles with that? Let's just check to see that that is actually, that if I invert that circle over the other circle, that it works. So let's go to the inversion. Reflect object in circle. So if I say reflect object in circle and I click on the thing I just made, and then the thing I built it to reflect in, it just comes back on itself. Now you might think, how do I know that? Maybe nothing happened. Well, let me make another circle here real quick. Let me make a circle that's not orthogonal to the edge. So there we go. There's a circle. It is not orthogonal to the boundary. So let's invert it and see what happens. So if I reflect object in circle, click on the new circle I made, click on the circle I want to invert around, and there we go. See, it didn't turn back into itself. That's how I know it's not orthogonal. This can't be orthogonal, this can't be orthogonal, because when you invert them, they don't stay the same. But this guy does. So that is a characteristic of those orthogonal circles. Maybe try a few. Convince yourself of this. Draw a couple other circles and invert them around the main circle. It's fun. Camille's is going okay. Okay, cool. Yes, ma'am. So now, where do you want to start at? The very first one? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, now go there, reflect about circle. Yeah. And then the circle. Yes, ma'am. Cool. Now you can do 3-point circle if you want. Boom. Awesome. Now what you can do is go to the inversion tool. So go to that guy. And then say invert around an object and reflect about a circle. That's it. And then click on the circle. And then click on the circle. And it should stay the same. Now create one that's not orthogonal. Just kind of sitting here, but it's not like a beauty like that. So let's try that. Make another one. Any circle you want. You can even just use the circle. Oh, there you go. I like that. Oh, wow. Okay. You're crazy. That's a good circle. Cool. Now invert that around the main circle. Something weird happened there. Oh. I think what what happened is you inverted this bigger one in that one and it turned it inside out. Yeah, let's try it again. There you go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. How we feeling on these basic constructions? Does anybody need help? Happy to help. Okay, I'm going to take your, yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so go to reflect about circle. Now click on that guy. Now click on the circle. There you go. Awesome, yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Cool. All right, what I would like you to do, so the next part of our lab, is I would like you to build 2 hyperbolic lines, aka circles that are orthogonal to the boundary, that do not intersect at all. So you can pick these however you want, but here's what I would want you to build. Here's the unit circle. I would like you to build a hyperbolic circle here, or wherever, it doesn't matter where, and then somewhere else. Build 2 of those, please. Your favorites. Pick 2 points inside. Reflect one of them. Make a 3-point circle and do that twice. Now come around. I'll actually do it here too. So if you want to watch, I'm going to do it as well. So I picked 4 points, 2 for each of the circles. I'm going to reflect one of the points about the circle. So I'm going to reflect B around the circle. And then do a 3-point circle through those. Or if I'm Kitcher, I'm just going to I'm going to build it from scratch. There we go. So there's one of mine. I'm going to do that again down here. I'm just going to pick one of these to reflect. You want to click on the tool first, otherwise things can get a little weird. Like that. Reflect. 3-point circle. Get some tools under here. Good? Okay. Cool. Those are looking good. Looking good. Solid. Lovely. You got it. You good? Awesome. Good. Oh, those are nice. Those are very nice. Lovely. Got them. Cool. Yeah. Oh, that's a biggie. That's a big one. You got more than, you got 50% more than I asked for. Beautiful. Oh, snowman. Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. And we got one more here. Yeah, beautiful. All right. So, could you do me a favor and also bring up the text? Because I want to show you where we're headed. It's problem 3. So problem 3 asks us to construct the fixed points of a hyperbolic translation defined by the inversion of two non-intersecting lines that intersect the unit circle at right angles. We just built those guys. They also have those indicated in their figure for you. So what are they saying? Let's talk. This is gonna more stuff comes together every day. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a point Z and we're gonna reflect it around one of these circles and then the other. What we're going to see happen is a motion across the plane like this. And that'll be our transformed version. This is how you do translation in the hyperbolic plane. You take two lines that do not intersect, two lines that do not intersect but hit this curve orthogonally. You reflect around each in turn. That produces motion on a type 2 cline. So somewhere there are points that do not get moved. What we want to do is figure out, after I do this translation, flip, flip, what doesn't change? What are the fixed points of hyperbolic translation? So let me show you what I mean. And it is through experimentation that you can understand this, and then some drawing would probably help as well. So let's pick a point. So I'm going to put the point A, or E. There's my point E. Now I'm going to reflect that twice. So I say reflect around a circle. So I click on the object, the point, and then I reflect it around this circle. And there's the first. So it moves outside to E prime. Now I'm going to take E prime and reflect that around my second circle. And there it goes. So that moved, in effect, my original point E to this point over here. Play with this. What we're looking for are the ones that do not change. So when I pick it and I reflect it over this and then I reflect it over this, it's still where it started. And you might be able to make a hypothesis about where these are. That's what I did, and I used, oh, thank you. That's what I did, and then I used this to convince myself I was correct. See if you can find, and it definitely takes some experimentation. Let's see, I'll do some. I'm going to make those clones. See if I can make some clones up here. And try some points that are inside one of the circles or outside. They don't have to be anywhere special. Maybe try some that are on the circles themselves as well. once you're in reflect mode, you don't have to keep going back to it, so you can just keep clicking things as you need. What'd you see, Lou?
So,
Hmm.
yeah.
I think. I don't know quite what you're thinking. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking fixed points are, so like if you take, so I started at, yeah, I reflected it, I made a climb, I took E, I reflected it, I made a climb at the intersection of those two points.
Yes. What is special? Yeah, that's right. What is special about those?
That's the fixed points.
It is. How could you build them a different way? So that's great. So you found the fixed points. Once you find, so Lou's kind of narrowed in on them. Once you find them, how could you build them? And the building is actually much simpler than you could imagine, actually. How do I find, so like start to get a hypothesis for where they might be and then see if you can catch visually what is happening there. Come around, see how all the reflections and stuff are going. Yeah. So I'm sorry. So which one did you start? Okay. So there you went there. So now click on the E prime.
I want. Okay.
Okay. There you go.
That's
There
what
you go.
Mm-hmm. The same thing.
There you go. Beautiful. Yeah.
The ring circle or this circle? So just put a random point in? Yeah.
How's it going? Seeing any patterns? Maybe. Yeah. It's okay. And then you can always get out a piece of paper. What you're going to see is that these things move along clines that are orthogonal to both of these. So you're actually just translating along type 2 clines. The fixed points you're going to find are the fixed points that those clines go through. There's going to be a whole family of them. Better make some more up here. I wish I had the center of these. I wish it would show the center of the circles. I kept having to rebuild that over and over again. Now I wish I'd done it. Someone I know did. There's my center. I gotta click this shit. Oh, is that how you can hide objects? Oh, cool. Okay, you can hide objects with this move graphics view menu. That's what I've been wanting to do because it gets very messy. It gets super messy. Let's see. Is there a way to get it to show the center of the circle? Did somebody figure that out?
You go to point
Yeah, like right here?
and then go down to midpoint or center
Oh.
and then just click the circle.
Oh, thank you, Grace. That is so helpful. Oh my God, I always get crazy getting all those bisectors up there. That's awesome. Okay. Excellent, excellent. So, let me pick a few points here that might be suggestive of what's going on. Lou, did you come up with like a hypothesis yet on this?
I have like an idea.
What's your idea?
So I took. Oh, yeah, I took the 2 points that like either of the clines intersect with the
So, like,
unit. Yeah.
Like this, like here.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I made a perpendicular bisector. That looked like it kind of worked.
So
but-
you picked a point. What is this? Let me see if I can- So you picked like a point like right there,
Yeah,
and then you picked a point over here,
yeah.
and then you made a perpendicular bisector.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Cool. And then what?
And then it looked like the points where it intersects with the unit circle were fixed points. It was looking like that, but
Yeah. So for example, I can come up to my picture here maybe and show you. So that picture, that is not a good circle. This guy look a little more orthogonal. So you picked this point like right here.
yeah.
I think, yeah. And let's see, what does this circle look like? So it looks like maybe the center is like there-ish, and then this one over here, the center is like there-ish. So if you take this point and you invert it over the circle, what happens to it? So let's just do that. Let's call this C1, let's call this C2. If I take Z, what is the inversion in C1 of Z? Yeah. What happens to a point on the circle when you invert? Oh, sorry, go ahead. What you saying, Christian? That's okay. That's okay. So how does inversion work? This point's going to infinity. Infinity's coming into 0. These points on the boundary stay fixed. I think that's true. Let's double check that. Let me prove that and see. So let me invert this point A right here. So I'm going to take a point A, and I'm going to invert it. Oops. I'm going to invert it around the circle. So A, invert on the circle. See how it just came to itself? Did you see that? It's hard to see. It turns into an A1. So if you invert a point on the boundary of a circle, around that circle, it just stays fixed. So the points that are going to stay fixed for each single inversion are on the boundaries of these things. So if I invert, let me do it again. Take that, invert around the circle, stays the same. Draw a point out here. Point right there. Now invert it around the big circle. It should stay the same. And it does. So stuff on this circle is going to stay on this circle. But then when you invert it in the other circle, it's going to move. So it has to do with the boundaries here. All the points here, if I invert any point on this in this circle, it stays fixed. If I invert any of these points with respect to this circle, they stay fixed. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to lead us there without telling the answer. And let me put a few more hints up. What if I pick a point really close to this boundary? So let's say I pick right there, not on the boundary, but dang, oh, so close. And then I invert that in the circle. So take that, invert it on that circle, cool. It doesn't move, right? Because it's close to the boundary. Boundary stuff doesn't move, so it moves barely. And then I take that, not that, I want the second. It's hard to tell which one I've got. There we go. No. Unselect. There we go. And then invert that over here. And it's moved, right? So this K ended up moving over here. Did I actually invert it in the circle? Yeah. What about, let's try these let's see. What about, okay, I'm gonna just do a construction here. I'm not gonna say what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do it. Let me draw a point like this. Let me go through that. Boom. And now let me pick a point. So this point right here. Oh shoot. I'm trying to get right on it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Add some extra precision. Okay, so right at that intersection. Now watch what happens. So I'm going to invert the circle. So I'm going to take M. I'm going to take M. Dang, okay, there. Now I'm going to invert it in this guy. Where did M prime go? He's way far away. So let's look where M prime went. So M prime, look where M prime landed. Does that give you any hints as to what happens? Now when I invert, so look, I took this M right here. What is this line that I drew here? What does that do? Why would I draw that line right there? Then I took where that line intersected the unit disk, that was M, inverted it, and it was right over here. Look where M prime is. It is also on the unit disk. If I invert this M prime, where will it go? If I invert around this, where will it go? Let's see. So I'm going to take M prime, I'll get in here real close. Take M prime. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right operations. Son of a gun, man, it's so hard to get right in there when things are this fine. Undo, dude. Move, dude. Move graphics. There we go. Okay. Now I can zoom in. So look how M prime landed right there, right on that intersection. Do the reflection. So take an M prime, reflect it on the circle, and let's see where M double prime went to. Where's M double prime? Where the original M was. What is happening? Because what that just meant was that if I took M, inverted it here, and then inverted it here, it now lands back. That is a fixed point. It doesn't change after the two inversions. How did I build that point? What do you think? You're going to say something. You look like you're going to say something. I'm
yeah,
just used to knowing Lou's going to say something.
I was just messing with it. So you just draw a line through the centers of your two lines that you're inverting through. And then it's any point, it's the points that are intersecting our unit circle on that line.
Yes. So this is what you need to convince yourself of, and then me on paper. So let's try this out again. And let's prove this to ourselves. So I'm going to clear all this shit out. I'm going to start over. So I'm going to create my points. So I'm going to grab I'm going to make my circle over here. I'm going to make them a little bigger. I'm going to make my circle over here. Off to the side like that. I'm going to create my inversion. Yeah. Reflection. Give me the reflection. Give me the 3-point circle. This is kind of why I ended up just like going for the 3-point circle, because I had to do this so dang many times that it was just getting a little tedious with all those bisectors. Is that, yeah, Christians, that's the, yeah, starting to kind of like some sense. Now I'm going to use Grace's like awesome midpoint finding method. Yay. Oh my God, that is just freaking awesome. I am going to connect those two with a straight line. And I'm going to note where they intersect the unit circle. So one of those would be right here. What the hell just happened? Oh, it's the damn center mode. Oh, shoot. Go back to that. Okay. You, right there. I want you. Thank you. Now I'm going to do the inversions. So G prime, where's that going to take me? Invert in the circle. Take G, invert it around this circle. Look, it lands back on the unit circle, straight across on that line, because inversions always happen on the line through the center. That's kind of one of the things that cued me off on this. And now I take G prime and I invert it in this circle, and boom, I'm back to where I started. This is how you find the fixed points of a translation. What are the fixed points of a translation in just when we weren't doing hyperbolic geometry? What were the fixed points when we were in the plane and I said, hey, take a point Z and move it to Z plus B? What are the fixed points there for translation? Are there any?
Infinity.
Only infinity. So if I take infinity and I add a little bit of B to it, I get infinity back. So the only fixed points in translation in our old world were infinity. What does this circle represent? Infinity. So our fixed points here for translation are also on infinity. We just get these nice mirror pairs of them. Let's try something else. Please check out page, so we got time? Yeah, we got plenty of time. If you would please check out page 96, figure 516. That part, that C on there also kind of gave me a clue as to what the answer to this question might be.
Like a 6 or 5?
Yes, figure 516 on page 96. These are the basic motions in the hyperbolic plane. So let's go through those. What we just looked at was C. C is translation. Notice how you have these type 2 clines that travel through the fixed points. That's stuff we've been seeing all along. So we've drawn those clines before. That's the family of clines, the family of type 2 clines associated with the fixed point of the Mobius transformation we're describing here, which turns out to be translation. If you want to do rotation, you do what's in figure A. So for figure A, what do we have? We have two circles that intersect at 2 points. So if I have two circles like this, let's come back to the unit disk. Terrible. Better. Kind of. I keep seeing eclipses everywhere. But, so if I take a circle here and another circle and they intersect at 2 points, and I play this same game, here's my centers. I take a point Z and I reflect it over this circle. And then I reflect it over this circle. What happens according to the figure? I get rotation around their intersection points. So if I take this cline and this cline and I flip over, I don't even know, let's do it. Let's do it on the thing. I kind of want to do this. I haven't done this yet. This was an experiment I wanted us to do together. Let's build two circles that intersect at 2 points and also hit the disk orthogonally. Let's see if we can just see this rotation happening in the plane as well. Got pretty good at building these. So you want your circles kind of, I guess I better build one first and just see. Yeah, okay, maybe these will intersect. We're gonna try. We're gonna wing it. See what happens. Then you have to reflect the object about circle. Boom. And do 3-point circles. Those don't intersect at all. Okay. Well, I guess I should have made them. Oh. Okay, I guess I should have picked the points like this. This would have been. That would have made sense. There we go. So something like that. And now I got to do my reflection. And then my 3 points. There we go. Okay. And then zoom in and drag, zoom. Cool. So theoretically, we should be rotating around this intersection point. And let's see if that happens. So I'm going to grab a point right here. And I'm going to do 2 reflections and see where H double prime ends up. Reflect object and circle. So first around. I feel like that guy kind of first just feels right. And then that around that circle. Let's take that and keep spinning it and see what happens. So now if I take H, see, what did I do first? I did the one I'm in first. So let's do that first, and then take that and reflect it around that. And it kind of looks, that was actually a little unexpected, wasn't it? Let's take this guy and rotate it around this, and then rotate it around this. I was trying to see if we could see like a curve. It kind of looks like there's a circle forming there, doesn't it? Kind of. Yeah. You doing all right, Grace?
I'm tired.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I don't feel peppy enough to be clapping and dancing around today. Yeah, I'll blame it on the eclipse. But I see that we do have. It looks like there's a cline that is orthogonal. Oh my God! If we just pick 3 of those points, we should be able to see it. If I can do 3-point circles. Oh my goodness! So let's see. 1, 2. Oh. There we go. There's the orbit. There's the orbit. So you could just take a point, reflect it twice, and then do another point and do the same thing, and then put a circle through those the first image and then the second image of each of those points. And you can see the rotational clines that we have here. You didn't miss anything. Just me having fun. You may or may not be having fun. I can't tell. I don't want to know, maybe. Unless the answer is yes. Hey, could you try doing B? Can you do that on this plane? So that is B, image B is where you have 2 of these clines, but they are tangent. So they intersect at exactly 1 point. Let's see if we can do that, because that actually sounds kind of fun to build 2 that just touch at a single point. And I guess they could intersect inside the plane too at a single point. So that could also work. So maybe if some people try some of the first and some of the second. We split it up. That sounds cool. I'll go for that second one. So many circles. So many orthogonal circles. You get pretty good at it though. So if you want to pick us, how are you going to do this? I've got a plan. How are you going to build your circles so that they touch at one point only? Any ideas on how to do that?
I just put my point on the unit circle.
Say that again.
I just put my point on the unit circle.
Oh hell yeah, definitely. And you can just use one of these points, right? Just grab one of the points off the circle and use that as your point in the other circle, and just make sure that the other two are not inside that other circle. But yeah, Kitra's got hers just kind of perfectly meshed on the unit circle. I'm gonna put some dudes inside here. See what happens. Pure curiosity. Oh, the circles, yeah, they can't be inside because they have to be orthogonal to the edge, so they can't. I think they have to meet at the boundary, and that's the only way. I think that makes sense. Because we never do anything with circles that are just actual circles. We only work with these hyperbolic lines. So good point there, Kitra. That'll be a point. I like that. That's another point. The reflector. Beauty. I guess that should work. Beautiful. Wow. Okay. Cool. So this is going to create, what do they call this here? It still moves us around circles, but it moves us around circles that are tangent to the point where these touch the unit disk and are also orthogonal to both of these curves. So it's a family of rotations that move around this way. And those are called horo circles, which is just an awesome name as well. Let me draw some horo circles up here. Horo circles look like this. And anytime they intersect one of your original circles, they are orthogonal to it, and they are tangent to the unit circle. So they're like circles that have a point at infinity on them. And I want to just see how these guys spin. Dang, okay. Starting to see the pattern emerge. There's some kind of weird ass little circle forming right there. Pretty flat, the ones that I have here, so let's see. Let me try to draw a little circle here. Actually, that's a little confusing, isn't it? Is this making sense where the way these are moving? Or how are yours moving?
Because I'm just
Oh,
gonna
yours
draw
look
the same
amazing.
line.
Oh my gosh.
Because then you can have the same letter lines and make it circles down circles.
Yeah, boy, those look gorgeous. You're seeing some nice horo circles there. Mine look a little funky.
Well, if you just draw a circle through all your E's and then all your F's and all your G's, then I think it'll be
Okay, I'll try it. My double primes and my
Mhm.
not primes. Okay, let's try that. Oh, did you keep rotating them? That's probably, okay. No?
No, I just make the circle through them and you can see it
Okay.
because it goes against the C.
So you, okay, let me see here. So,
Circle through 3 points
circle through 3 points.
and then all of your E's.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful.
And then you just keep doing it.
Yeah. Very cool. So if I'm gonna pick a point on there and just prove to myself that stuff on that circle does stay on that circle. And then do my reflections about a circle. So take that, reflect it around that. And that moves it to there. Man, that is so just gorgeous. And then to there. Wow. Love the way I do that. Way out here. One buddy out here. And reflect. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Wasn't quite as dramatic as I was hoping. So that's how we do stuff in the hyperbolic plane. How much time we got? We got 10 minutes. I want to talk a little bit about number 4, if we could. Actually, I want to talk about number 4 and number 5. So I hope this was a little different. I hope you got some feeling for at least some of the basic stuff messing around in the plane. This tool's available for you. It might be helpful for just thinking about these problems. Because I would like you to produce some kind of argument for me on number 3. You know, we got the answer. We actually know how to do it, but I would like you to convince me in your own words that is the right plan. So in number 4, we've got 2 points in D, P and Q. What we are trying to do here is produce 2 clines that are orthogonal to the edge, because that's the only kind we mess with, that when we invert these 2 points around those clines, it sends P to 0. So we actually did this last Wednesday. Is it like maybe think back on it, or look at the proof in the book, or think about what cline is going to send P to 0 and sends Q to the positive real axis. So notice how they're very generic about where Q goes. Let's talk about how this might work. I'm going to create an inverting cline that when I flip over it, P goes to 0. Then, once I've got P to 0, I'm going to take this Q, wherever the new Q is. Here's Q after I invert around this circle. Here's Q prime. I want to rotate the plane to get Q back to the real axis. So, and what is a rotation? How do you do a rotation? It's a reflection, right? So if I want to take this Q and rotate it over here, I figure out that angle, I bisect it with a straight line, and flip over that bisector. So one of your inversions will be around a circle like this. One of your inversions will be on a circle that's a straight line through the center. We'll talk more about this. Let's just make this homework due on Monday. There's a lot of thinking to do here. Number 5 might be the most algebra of all these. So in number 5, it says prove any 2 horocycles are congruent. I think we're gonna have kind of a work day on Wednesday. But please put a little brain time in on this. So what you have to do in that problem is you take a horocycle here. So it touches at some point P on the unit circle. So there's horocycle 1. And then I've got another horocycle over here, H2. And it tangent at some point Q. So draw your horocycles out, label the points that are tangent at. And think to yourself, how am I going to move this onto this? So to show they're congruent, you've got to do the reflections. You've got to show that there's a T of Z, a Mobius transformation that turns this one into that one. Do it in bits by bits. Rotation's going to help, some scaling's going to help. Have fun. That's it. I think that's enough for today, quite frankly. Do you have anything you want to talk about? It's probably too late. I shouldn't have waited this long. Now you don't want to talk at all. And that seems fair. Let's call it. My goodness. I don't know. I hope that made some sense. It did? It made some sense, yeah? Yeah. All right. I hope it helps. It feels very different than what we normally do. Me too. That's, yeah, having that little toy to play with made me really happy. Oh, hi, hey, hello. It's not goodbye, it's hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I would be delighted to. When is that? Aren't you graduating? Are you going to grad school? Wow, awesome. Yeah, when, so what does it do? Awesome. We got plenty of time. Yeah, that sounds good. So, do you have a CD or any kind? Okay, cool. So, a CV is a curriculum, it's like a resume, but it's just you have something like that, just send me that. Okay, cool. You're getting used to your glasses for your CV. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to be the first one to ask you for it.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. And if you're interested, if you ever need help putting one together, let me know. Because it's really different than a resume. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of the same, kind of not. It focuses on your academic life more than anything.
Cool.
So let me know, and yeah, give me all to me. I'm delighted to.
Okay, thank you.
I'm so glad you're going to grad school.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You know what?
Well, I'm going to work on my coding a little bit more this summer, but.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought you said
definitely.
you started your PhD program.
Yeah, cool,
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good, Karen. Hey, Larry. How you doing? Did you shut that off?
Oh,
Jeez.